Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, don't forget to subscribe to the Bulldog Show on YouTube. Today, I want to take my time and cover coronavirus from A to Z. So bear with me, because I think, and you know I do this all the time, I think it's time for a compilation Bulldog Show about the coronavirus. First, it all began in China. It did. We know that. And we know a scientist who defected to the United States believes that it came from the lab and it might have even been released intentionally. Just think about it, folks. They couldn't take Trump down with Mueller. They couldn't take him down with impeachment. They couldn't take him down with the women issue. They just couldn't get him. And guess who Trump was calling to task? China. Whose economy was suffering? China. Which economy was roaring? The United States economy. So what does China do? Well, they don't really say a whole lot, do a whole lot, say it's going to be okay. And we get the coronavirus that comes from Wuhan. Trump calls it the China virus, just like all the other viruses got their name from where they came from or what they came from. Just the reality of it. But not this media. He's not allowed to call it the China virus. It's got to be called the coronavirus. What's the first thing that Trump does? Travel ban. Sounds reasonable, right? The left and Joe Biden throughout the campaign wants to completely ignore that when he said, Trump, no more traveling to and from China in January, he was a xenophobe, which is a fancy word. They use that word. Fancy word that he doesn't like aliens, immigrants, people from other countries. It's truly remarkable. Trump was attacked for stopping the ban on China travel. What else is he supposed to do? Let's cover what Trump did. First off, there wasn't enough what's called personal protective equipment. And what did he do? He made sure that it got ramped up. We find out that we get masks from China, so forth and so on. Trump expedited the PPE as fast as he could. Did he not? Yes, he did. Then we have the respirator issue. Everybody was clamoring, oh my goodness, we got to have respirators. What does Trump do? He fast tracks respirators. So much so that then New York, one of the hotbeds, oh, we got too many respirators. Trump even sent a Navy hospital ship to New York City. Didn't even have to be used. Here in Cincinnati, they opened up this center at the convention center in Cincinnati, was never used. What did Trump not do to respond to this concern about respirators? Everything possible. Then we had government assistance. What did Trump do? He worked with Congress, and there was 3 separate government assistance to small businesses and Americans. What else was he supposed to do? He worked with everybody, got that done and completed. Then we have the World Health Organization. What did we find out? The World Health Organization was telling us everything's okay in China, it's all okay, all okay. Who? That's what they did, the World Health Organization. Then what does the World Health Organization come out and say later, which everybody's ignoring? They're saying lockdowns are dangerous, bad. You shouldn't have lockdowns. Why isn't anybody today listening to what WHO has to say about lockdowns? Then we have the Center for Disease Control, the CDC. And the CDC is saying, we should do this, we should do that. You know, what did we do? Well, Trump does, and here he is. Trump's stuck with these people. The WHO people, the CDC people. He stuck with them. What does Trump do? All right, what does CDC say? Let's do it. Let's do that. Let's do this. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. Then there's Dr. Fauci. And I have to read this because it's long. The director of the National Institute Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Good old Dr. Fauci. What did Dr. Fauci say? Dr. Fauci said, hey, it's going to be okay. Everybody should keep doing what they're doing. That's what he was saying in the beginning. And by the way, they came out with this story like Trump knew that this was bad. But no. What is the president of the United States supposed to do? He's supposed to stay calm no matter what's going on. He remains calm. He's not supposed to scare the hell out of everybody. He's supposed to act swiftly, calmly, with strength. And that's exactly what he did. And we're going to talk about Fauci some more later. Here is what we should have done. This is what I'm saying from day one, what we should have done. Socially distance, wear your mask if you like. Don't lock down, shut down anything. Go about our business. What would have happened? We would not have had the need for all of this government assistance to everybody. There's only one segment of our economy that we should have taken care of, the hospitals. Thrown money there. And remember, they talked about flattening the curve. We got to flatten the curve, flatten the curve, flatten the curve. Whatever happened, we did flatten the curve. They keep they keep changing everything on us. We flattened the curve, didn't we? Whatever happened, that's all we got to do is flatten the curve. Trump versus the governors. Donald J. Trump has done and did every possible thing he could have done as president of the United States. The governors are the ones with their independentness and their states' rights who are doing all these things from day one, like Mike DeWine and Andy Beshear, their moment in the spotlight, which egomania hits them. They're the ones that are controlling what's going on in each of these states. How the hell is that Trump's fault? It's not Trump's fault. And remember this big thing, gotta listen to science, gotta listen to science. Trump listened to the damn science. The hospitals. Well, it turns out that the hospitals, and we know this miraculously, the hospitals were under some pressure, but guess what? The hospitals were doing all right. And guess what? As we've gotten to the summer, everything's calmed down. We know I got inside information that the tri-state hospitals, they were doing all right. St. E's hardly had any coronavirus. And just think about this. Miraculously, what happened to all of the other people that needed to go to the hospital? Were they miraculously cured? No. The reality of it, sure, is there pressure in the hospitals? Absolutely. Are some people that are working intensive care, under some stress? Sure. That's why they get paid the big bucks to do it. Hospitals have made a fortune when it comes to this stuff. They get paid well to treat coronavirus patients. They pay their doctors and nurses well. It isn't like they're doing this for free. They're not soldiers jumping into the fray. They get paid to work. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just reality. The collateral harm. Everybody forgot about the collateral harm. The suicides, the depression, the economic impact, the devastation, the closed business, suicide rate going up. You name everything. I know some people who have died of heart attacks because they couldn't get a doctor's appointment. Truth. Reality. How about misdiagnosis of cancer? All the failure to screen for cancer. The magnitude of the collateral harm far surpasses the damage by coronavirus. Especially when you consider we have the flu epidemic every year. Then we have the risks. This has been the most frustrating, me personally, the most frustrating thing in this whole coronavirus for me is what little risk a healthy person has of dying from this or being severely harmed. Now, if you got a pre-existing condition or you're one of the unlucky ones, sure. But that way we've reacted to coronavirus, in my opinion, is politically criminal because there is such little risk of death for everybody. And boy, have they played the death card to a T. Biden's still playing the death card. Pre-existing conditions. Another thing I would have done is just say, hey, those of you with pre-existing conditions, you got health risk, stay home. Stay home. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, my wife has a lung condition. She'd be considered a pre-existing risk, pre-existing condition. She's lived her life. Has she worn a mask when she's gone out? Yes, she has. We've been around the grandkids. I've been around family members. We haven't restricted. Our law office has stayed open. Nobody wears masks or socially distances in our office. Deters Law is one of the few law offices that has stayed completely open and not missed a beat. We're building a home. All the contractors have worked through the entire thing. No coronavirus issues. Thank God they didn't shut down the construction industry. I'm going to get to that in a minute too. Then you have the death rate. The death rate just keeps going down, 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 down. The likelihood of you dying from this is slim to none. And it's sick that everybody just wants to ignore. Dr. Birx admitted that if you get the coronavirus and you die, we're going to say that you died from the coronavirus. We know this 200,000 plus number is a lie. And then you include the people in there that other pre-existing conditions. How many normal, healthy people got coronavirus and died? Small number, even a smaller number. But let's use fear for our political purposes. Then you got the testing issue. How ridiculous is testing? That's another thing Trump did. Trump rushed the testing fast as he could. And guess what? There's been so many screw-ups on testing to whine himself. Positive, negative, negative, positive. And you know what they act like? When you test positive in these running numbers we get in Kentucky and Ohio, they make it sound like you're dying. Oh, 400 people tested positive today. So freaking what? They act like 400 people are going to die today. You tested positive. It's all in context, isn't it? As in most things. Positive test versus cured. Another pet peeve that I have in this whole debacle is this. Why in the hell do we never talk about the number who have been cured? Because we know it's 14 days for most part. So when they tell you millions and millions and millions, well, there ain't a bunch of millions and millions and millions that got COVID right now of the 320 million Americans. Unbelievable. Then we got social distancing. Seems fair enough, but how absurd is social distancing, God? It's beyond absurd. Oh, 6 feet's the magical number. I mean, it's just all absurd. Then you got masks. Really absurd. Because you know what? There are studies that say that masks don't change anything. Now, I meant to bring in a mask to demonstrate this to you. How ridiculous is it? You put on your mask and you go into the restaurant. Then you sit down without your mask. Heck, Newsom or somebody wanted us to put the mask in between bites. Crazy. Masks. Are you kidding me? Got to wear a mask. Okay, everybody wear a mask. There are going to be government mandates of masks? Really? But the whole mask thing is a joke. And here's another example. They wear gloves at restaurants and whatnot. Well, you know what? If you get COVID on your glove, it's the same as if you got it on your hand. You see how silly it all is? You and I both know. It's just absurd and silly. And of course, you can't get COVID at a Kroger's and a Target and all those places, you know. But by golly, restaurants and bars, you got to get the hell out. I actually thought of this last night for the first time. Voila, it came to me. Where do we socially engage the most? Bars and restaurants. I don't think it is a coincidence that they shut down bars and restaurants because that's where we Americans commiserate with each other, and they don't want us commiserating. Poor bars and restaurants. How would you like to own a bar and restaurant in this crap? Gloves. I've already covered gloves. Wearing gloves? You might as well have bare hands. Means nothing. Surfaces. Remember, COVID lives on, is on surfaces. It stays on surfaces, lives on surfaces for a long time. Then we find out, I forgot who it was, CDC, whoever said, no, it doesn't. Don't have to worry about COVID on surfaces. What? Wait a minute. You see, I keep using the word absurd because it's so absurd. Crowds and gatherings. Miraculously, at Thanksgiving, you can't have more than 10 people. 12, by golly, you're all going to get COVID and die. But not 10. The football stadiums, a joke. It's all just a joke. You can have a wedding, but then at a wedding reception, you can't have more than 50. Because if you have 60, you're all going to die. It's just so stupid. Treatment. The treatment now is so good that, again, you're not going to die. They've been fighting over what works, hydrochloroxine or whatever it's called, all that. Well, you know what? Whatever they're treating, it seems to be working very well. Then there's the vaccine. What did Trump do? Trump expedited the vaccine, Operation Warp Speed, throw money at it, do everything. Let's get this vaccine now, get the FDA to approve it, fast track it, blah, blah, blah. You know what they say now? Well, we're a little concerned with the vaccine. Really? They've done trials of 30,000 freaking people, 90, 95%. Really? Pfizer's 90% approval rating. And what do? It comes out 1 week after the election. Moderna, 2 weeks after the election. Makes you sick. Taking it. Heck, we got so many people now. How do you force them to take it? And then Fauci said, we can't reopen things until we get the vaccine. Now he's saying, nope, vaccine, you still got a mask, you still got a glove up, you still got... It's absurd. Then you got Cuomo. Cuomo, now that the vaccine is here, said, no. I don't want Trump to be distributed. We got to wait. More absurdity. Fauci. Just think about Fauci. I'm going to tell you something. One day I might be governor of Kentucky. Never know. Never thought Trump be president. One day I might be president of the United States. And you know what I'm going to do when I'm governor of Kentucky or president of the United States, if I ever am? I'm going to fire every freaking Nimrod that's around me. It is naive to tolerate disloyalty and Nimrods around you. You should never not fire them because what the media might think. Because the media is going to crucify you anyway. And they want the Nimrods in your midst. Trump should have parked Fauci from day one. What a little needlemeyer. Throwing out a baseball. He loves his little claim to fame. Herd mentality. We talked about that. They tried it in Europe. Well, you know what? That's part of what I say should have happened. Just let everybody get coronavirus, recover. Those are going to die. Yes, I'll go ahead and say it. Are going to die. Because you know what, folks? Every single day in American medicine and healthcare, we do make choices. We make choices with transplants. Who gets it and who doesn't? I'm not a chicken poop. I'm willing to say, yes, some people are going to die. That's life. We make choices of life and death every day. And the left, they make life and death choices all the time on abortion. You can kill at will a little baby, a woman with child. But by golly, we can't let anybody die of coronavirus. Absurd. Nursing homes. Just protect nursing homes. Look what the moron Cuomo did. He put sick people back in nursing homes. Gonna blame Trump? Lockdowns. Already covered this a little bit. Lockdowns are stupid. Obama's wanting all the people on his committee, his coronavirus committee, they want lockdowns. Some 8 weeks. Lock it all down. Our economy can't withstand that. It's stupid. Lockdowns don't work. There should be no lockdowns. There should be no closings. Young in schools. Another big pet peeve of mine on this. Young people don't get it. You know what they do? They'll grab one. Well, this This 6-year-old got it. We found one. 6-year-old got it. Generally, young people don't get it. Young people don't die. Yet they shut down schools. What the F? Are you kidding me? Shut down. There should have been not a single school should have been shut down. It cracks me up. You can test the teachers and the staff coming and going. It's unbelievable. Shut down no school. And look at the permanent harm to the education, development, athletics, all of it, to kids. They canceled soccer games, little kids playing soccer out in the field. Coronavirus. The fear. Fear, fear, fear. FDR, the great Democratic president, all we have to fear is fear itself. The new Democrats say, we got lots to fear and we want you to fear it. Jail releases. How absurd is it that you can get arrested for violating some of these rules, yet they let people out who had COVID? How unfair is it that you're a criminal and you don't get out because you don't get COVID and you don't have high risk COVID? There ought to be some class action lawsuit against them all for that one. Hey, I got COVID. See you later. Get out of here. I didn't get COVID. Too bad. Churches. Locking down churches in the absurdity of these honking rallies that Biden have. Of course, he knew they were embarrassing, but he didn't care because he knew he was going to cheat and win, try to win. Churches. And what did Judge Alito say? Not Chief Justice, but Justice Alito of the United States Supreme Court saying he's really concerned about the liberties. Block churches? Think about that. Solizinski would be proud. Using COVID to stop people from going to church. It's awful. You can't socially distance at church? No, you got to shut them down. Antibodies and cure. You know, Rand Paul is fighting this, and he gets attacked for it all the time, or whether you're cured or not. Oh, they'll find one person just like they find that little 6-year-old kid. Oh, we found one. He's got coronavirus twice. How many people got coronavirus twice? How many? You tell me. Don't think very many. Mail-in ballots. They used it all as the excuse for mail-in ballots to steal an election. Mailing out ballots to every single person. Then the Democrats go in these big cities, pick up all the ballots, make sure they're all filled out for the right guy. You know what? In the history of election, ever known, ever, a county, a state to stop counting the votes in the middle of the night. 1 o'clock especially. You stop counting the votes? When did they ever stop counting the votes? We're going to stop. It's not over, folks. The courts. Not just this is going to go through the court system, but I just want to let you know, as somebody who's involved in the Durrani litigation in the state of Ohio, it is shameful how the courts have failed to give these people their day in court. All litigants. Boy, guess who wins with coronavirus? The large defense firms. Those big wimp sacks, they're not working in their law offices over on 4th Street in Cincinnati. They're all working remotely, still billing the hell out of their clients. But you know what they get to do? They get to hide behind coronavirus so all the people who've sued their clients don't get their day in court because it's coronavirus. You can't test a group of jurors and have a damn trial. I can tell you right now, if I was a judge, we wouldn't have stopped one single day. It's awful. The damage, more collateral harm. Bars and restaurants, I've already covered them. How sad is it to be a bar and restaurant owner and take the brunt of this? It's sad. It is sad. People working in that government with those paychecks, they don't give a damn. Essential versus not essential. Whose paycheck is not essential? You tell me. Bottom line, folks, it's a complete wussification of America. You know what? Back in the beginning and founding of our country, they had yellow fever epidemics. Everybody dealt with it, kept going. On and on and on. You know, we fought world wars. How do you do it? Instead, they used the coronavirus as an excuse not to do anything. Instead of being a Marine, the Marines just had their birthday, and figure out, how do you do it despite the coronavirus? Thanksgiving. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, we're going to host Thanksgiving for my family, my wife's and my family, and her family. And you know what? Everybody's invited, and I think everybody's going to come. And we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving without socially distancing. Nobody's going to wear a mask. And Andy Bashir, there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Christmas. Well, CNN, Jake Tapper, he wants to cancel Christmas. Looks like Christmas is going to get canceled. What the hell? Really? I can tell you one thing. We're going to celebrate Christmas too at our house, and the angels are going to have Santa Claus come and visit them. Liberty versus government control. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I'm not some crazy conspirator, but you know what? I do believe there's no way Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. And you know what? I don't believe for a single minute that this coronavirus is not part of some deep, dark state collaboration with China and God knows who to control you, control this country, put more and more government. My God, our founding fathers, it was all about less government. Not with the Democrats of today. More government, more. It's enough to make your head explode. Government. Liberty. Folks, the economy. And I said this from day one. Sorry, folks. Our national economy and not racking up trillions and trillions and more in debt is, I'll say it, is more important than a couple 100,000 people dying of coronavirus, even though we know a couple 100,000 people didn't die of coronavirus. I'll say it. Many of you believe it, can't say it, because you know what, folks? It's corporate slave. Look at all the people, all the institutions that we have in this country, every one of them. You know what I'm talking about. All of our institutions, all of our corporations. If you don't toe that coronavirus line, you're going to get fired. Not me. It is better that some people die of coronavirus than our whole economy and our whole country collapse. Look at the stock market. Look at the stock market. Stock market collapsing is a good thing? Really? Look how the stock market reacted positively to 2 vaccines. My final comment is this, and I posted this last night. Who I disdain more than anybody else, this might shock you, isn't the Marxists, the communists, the racists, the socialists, and all those people. I'll tell you who I disdain more than them. All of you, all of your friends, all of your family members who only voted for Biden because Trump was a little rough around the edges. They would rather have socialism, Marxism, communism, racism. They would rather have defund the cops, violence in the streets. They would rather have all of that than a president who's a little rough around the edges. They're all waking up now thinking, what the hell? And I predict in 2022 and in 2024, there's going to be a boomerang positively for this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, that is my comprehensive analysis, off the cuff, just using my outline for trigger words, about the coronavirus. You tell me, how can anyone say Trump did all he could? He's got the economy coming back. It was used as a political weapon for mail-in ballots. It is going to be a sick and disgusting chapter in our history. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Excuse the harsh language. The Marxists, the communists, the socialists, the racists can all go to hell.